he's not there, then people start asking questions. And if he's somewhere and I'm not there, then people start asking questions. So I've received many awards with Michael, shared many stages with him. But when Hadi called me and said, "Do you want to present the award?" I was like, yes. I've never had the honor of presenting an award to my brother Michael. Michael is one of those guys who, if you were to line his bookshelves, and if any of you have not been to his office, it's pretty epic. If you were to line his shelves with awards, it would not come anywhere near the amount of lives that he has touched here in Dallas and in so many places. Personally, he's been a brother to me over these last few years. He is an uncle to my children. He is someone that I know will be the first to call when anything happens to my community. He started as an ally. We start as allies and then we hope to move towards brotherhood and sisterhood. Because when you're an ally, there's still that threat that if your enemy makes you toxic enough, your ally will find someone safer to be allied with. And I have known in my community, as the Muslim community, have known always that Michael's not one of those people to walk away, but the first to call and to stand by you no matter what happens. I'll actually share a personal story, and it's often in the small things that you find something remarkable. I remember once being at a protest, and I've shared this story with him, and at the end of the protest, the Muslim community took off to the side to pray, and it was dark and there were no lights. And you could sense a shadow, you could see a little bit of a shadow, and you could sense someone. And I remember when we finished praying, we saw him standing on guard behind the Muslim community as they were praying, and I thought, what a special action. What a special person he actually is. I thought I was a decent preacher until I met him. If any of you have heard him preach, he often will amplify his voice and then everyone will be completely struck in silence. And it's not just his own voice that he's amplifying, but he's amplifying the inner conscience of each and every single person that's sitting in the room, whether it's from his pulpit or in the midst of a protest. He's my brother, whom I love very much, and he's a man who loves people in a prophetic way. To call him just the Dallas Peacemaker is a little limiting, in that he's a needed voice right now in this nation and a gift to our humanity as a whole. The Rev.Dr. Michael Waters is lead pastor of Joy Tabernacle and Agape Temple AME churches in Dallas. He is the award-winning author of 5 books. We're co-authoring one, by the way, so that'll be 6. And winner of the prestigious 2018 National Wilbur Award in nonfiction. As a pastor, author, commentator, activist, and leader, Reverend Dr. Waters is a role model in the local community, and his message, powerful message of peace and nonviolence, radiates and inspires followers throughout the world. Please help me honor now my brother, the uncle of my children, the husband of my sister Ulysses, and your Dallas Peacemaker of the Year, the Reverend Dr. Michael Waters.
To God be the glory for the things that God has done. To the board staff and members of the Dallas Peace and Justice Center, I'm truly honored to receive this kind recognition this evening. To my fellow honorees, I'm deeply inspired by the integrity of your work and by your unwavering commitment to the advancement of just causes. I'm truly grateful to share this moment with each and every one of you. There are far too many friends and colleagues present in this space tonight to name each of you at the time that has been allotted to me. However, I also want to extend my gratitude and joy in sharing this moment with each one of you. To the ancestors who now abide in the heavenly realms, upon whose shoulders we continue to stand. may you continue to find rest in the eternal grace of God. And may we continue to do the work. To my brother, Imam Omar, together we have fled from bullets and faced down armed terrorists with AK-47s. We have stood together at airports, vigils and marches against bans, brutalities and walls, for clean water, for justice and for peace. My prayer is that God will grant us the strength to continue to stand together. Tonight's recognition is made all the more meaningful, sir, because you are here. To God's evidence to me that angels exist and that they sometimes walk upon the earth. To my dear wife, Ulysses, to attempt to recount what you mean to me and to our children in this moment, really in any moment, would prove impossible. You do not merely complete me, but you make me better. I want to thank you for your sacrifice and your understanding, especially during those inconvenient moments when the call of justice calls me away. I love you forever. During the afternoon of September the 7th, 2018, I received a call from John Fullenwider. He notified me that a young black man was sitting in his own home the previous evening, minding his own business near downtown, only to be murdered by a Dallas police officer in his living room. He mentioned that a vigil had been planned for the evening and asked if I could come offer a few words. I immediately began organizing the statement in my head and got dressed, grabbed my hat, and headed for the door. Right before I crossed the threshold, my son, our oldest, inquired, "Where are you going, Dad?" And I replied simply, "I'm going to speak." Then my son inquired, "Who died now?" Those words, this painful inquiry, rips at your soul, especially when uttered from such innocent and young lips, who, like many children across this nation and this world, are already too familiar with the frequency of senseless tragedies. However, it's a question that demands a response from all of us, not just concerning who died, but what, if anything, we are going to do so that no one has to die that way again. These are consequential times. Children are in cages. We can mark time in this nation by who was shot and when. We have mountains of shingles, and acres of marginalized communities are being sold for pennies on the dollar. Yes, these are difficult days for all of our communities, for our city and for our world. We have but two options. We can cower or we can stand. If we cower, we all die. If we stand, God may grant that we save some. So let us make it our determination to stand. And let us continue to stand until that day that justice flows like waters. Amen. in righteousness like a mighty stream. Godspeed.